Well, we had a great game of cricket earlier on. Sylhet Titans just ending up slightly at the end on the losing side, but you've got to give credit to the way Dhaka played as well. But of course, this one is a new encounter altogether, and we've got a very, very strong team on paper. When you talk about, Rangpur Riders, there's definitely seemed to be one of the contenders of the tournament so far. Now, with me, I've got 𝗂𝗏𝗡 Ghosh and Darren Gough to talk about this game, really build it up. 𝗂𝗏𝗡, just looking at all the teams, we spoke about how Rangpur Riders are looking like perhaps one of the best teams of the tournament so far. Again, it's early stages in the tournament, but from whatever we've seen so far, what has been the most impressive aspect of the side that you've seen?
I think they've got all bases covered. They're definitely a solid side on pen and paper, led by Nur Hassan Chauhan, Rangpur Riders, the franchise itself. They've won it in the past, the BPL, so they know what it takes. Right, and they're really invested in the team, and it shows in the squad as well. They've planned it out, they've chalked it out nicely. Bowling side, you've got the 𝗏𝗏, one of the best in the world when it comes to T20, this format. So you've got the 𝗏𝗏, you've got the speedster in Nahid Rana. Fahim Ashraf stood out the other day with the fifer, and then batting at the top, Liton Dash, Sublime, along with David Malan, 𝗃𝗿𝗃𝗃 comes in. You know, I think they've got quite a few left in the bench who can make the damage as well.
Absolutely, 𝗃𝗿𝗃𝗃, you mentioned him, we've seen how talented he is. Rajshahi Warriors then, when you talk about them and their performance, you know, the likes of Shanto, he scored a big 100 in the beginning of the tournament. And then Ripon Mondal, he was so impressive in that previous game.
Yeah, I think they're a good team as well, you know. I think this is why it's all set for a great game. Two absolutely fantastic sides with two good bowling attacks. And you look at them there, I think at the top with Tanzir, I think he's a fantastic player. We know Shanto coming in is in form. He's played a terrific knock that first game. And the way they played at the end as well, the two to get that partnership together, Mushfiqah and Yasir Ali, they played really, really well. So, but I think when you look at both these teams, both bowling attacks are absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, they look really good. And when you talk about somebody like Rangpur Riders, definitely they have a coach who's a seasoned campaigner around the world. You know, he's been able to coach all these teams around the world, international teams around the world, county sides around the world. So you've got to say that he's got all the experience, and it's time to hear from him now, actually, what he has to say about what he thinks he can bring to the table.
All okay. Am I looking sharp? It's great. It's a beautiful weather. Coming down to the ground every day. Cricket, watching guys get better, watching players progress. That makes me smile. That makes me happy. Best part of coaching is developing players and seeing players get better and better. That's the thing that drives me. And when I watch players improve and then go and perform, that makes me incredibly happy, and that to me gives me the most satisfaction. In the modern coaching, it's about creating this environment and letting players do what they want. I'm never one to believe that the tail wags the dog. I think that you've got to create structure and challenge players in a good way, and then you challenge those players to become better. And I think that's what creates high performance. The one thing I really enjoy is watching some good young wrist spinners. Teams that I've coached, we generally always have a good young wrist spinner in it. So I love watching them develop their games because they're different. And I love something different coming into the game. And what it does do, it teaches you as a coach to keep evolving and keep learning the different basics and the different skills. So I love watching wrist spinners. Yeah, no, I'm watching. I see everything at a net session. They're trying to impress, to try and get into the team, and ultimately that shows ambition. And I love players with ambition. I hate players that have got no ambition. Players with ambition, sharp. Chauhan's a leader of men. He leads exceptionally well. He's got, you know, I always say leaders are born, they're not created. Chauhan is born a leader, and people generally follow him. He has that trait and he has that ability. I've seen so many good young players. You know, in our squad, we've got some very, very talented young players, as well as some very experienced international players. So it gives us a really good balance. But there's just so much talent. With this bunch, undoubtedly was winning the GSL in Guyana. So that was my first interaction, the first time I worked for Rangpur Riders, and that was in Guyana. And we ended up winning the GSL, which was really special with this group of players. It was a fantastic moment and one that I'll always remember.
Mickey Arthur then talking about creating a team culture and an environment that can bring out the best in players. 𝗂𝗄𝗎, you know a bit about him as well, and we've seen him, like I said, coach different teams around the world. That creating that environment, how important is it to get the best out of players?
Well, first of all, I say about Mickey, he's an experienced guy who goes around, and a lot of coaches these days are more like managers. But I would say Mickey is still in that old school coaching style. He very much likes to coach. He's a very emotional man when he coaches. You'll see him charging up and down the sidelines. He can't keep out the game. He's always wanting to educate his players and educate himself. And that's what I really like about him. He's an honest coach, and he tells his players when they step out of line. He's big on timekeeping, and he works hard as a coach. I really admire that about him. And you can see wherever he goes, all around the world, he does a good job. People like him because he's honest.
Yeah, he is really liked about players, Shomonoy, when you talk about what the type of coaching he does. A lot of the players often speak very highly of him, just in terms of how he's communicative. Because you have different characters in the dressing room. I mean, how do you see him as a coach?
Oh, again, yeah, as you said it, communication is key. Being able to pass on the message and make sure that the players understand you, what is required of you. We often speak of clarity of roles, right? So unless it's messaged and communicated properly, there is a gap. And I think the players respect him. And, this is a side which has also gone on to win the GSL T20 in the past. It was a couple of years ago. They understand what it takes, and as he also complimented the captain, that Nurul Chauhan is a born leader. I think he's a gutsy skipper. And you also have Liton Das, who's actually Bangladesh's T20 skipper. So you've got leaders in there, and I think to assist someone like a Mickey Arthur, you've got Mohammad Ashraful, who's the assistant coach as well. So I think it's a good blend they have.
Also, developing a rapport with the leader is equally important when you talk about cricket setups and just generally teams. I mean, he spoke about Chauhan and said that Chauhan is a born leader. So just having that relationship with the captain, the coach and captain relationship, is also equally important,
isn't it? It's very important, and because it's the captain who runs the show on the field, right? And the coach, yes, he will give you the tactics. He will make sure that you prepare well. And I'm sure 𝗂𝗄𝗎 can add a lot to it. It's very important that they are in sync.
𝗂𝗄𝗎, your thoughts on the relationship that a coach and a captain perhaps shares, and how important is it to be on the same page in terms of alignment to bring out the best?
It's massive. You've got to be able to challenge each other and be honest, but you've got to come across to the rest of the players. It's got to be the same message. But in private, you've got to challenge each other, and you rely on that partner, your assistant coach, your captain, to challenge you. But when you go out there, they've got to have the same message. It's got to be clear so the rest of the team understand. And then that's what the culture is. But it's an honest dressing room, and you get the best out of the team. And like I said, Mickey's challenged himself all around the world doing it.
Yeah, an honest dressing room is one that, one is, as a team, you're always looking for that kind of honesty and integrity in the side, whether it's communication, whether it's just having a relationship with the coach. So on that note, we'll take a short break, and when we are back, we'll be obviously looking ahead to this game and also a look back at what happened earlier. back on Bashundhara Cement Straight Drive, and we're here for match number 8, where it's Rangpur Riders and they are taking on Rajshahi Warriors. What an exciting encounter awaits us. It's going to be a cracker of a game, considering both the teams are so good on paper. We're ready with the toss now, so it's over to Ramiz Raja, who's out there with the two captains.
It's a very impressive set of people here for this Bashundhara toss. We've got the match referee Salim Shahid is going to oversee the toss. We've got the two captains as Hassan Sohan has the coin and Najmul to call.
Head.
Head is the call, and it's taken a semicircle, come down. Salim Saab, it's come down as tail. What have you decided to do?
We'll bowl first.
Yeah, that seems to be the go-to pattern. Any reason why?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of dew, and I think first 5-6 over bowler will get a little bit of benefit from here.
You have got a fantastic set of players. Is there reputation to play for also? I mean, you did set for that qualifier as well. I mean, it seems as if you've got all the bases covered.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we need to play as a team, and we just started well, but I think a long way to go for us, and hopefully we'll, inshallah, do our best in the ground.
What do you need to do to beat them today?
Have to play well.
Okay, any team changes?
Yeah, one change, Sufyan Muking out, and obviously the Kyle Mayers in.
Fantastic,
Thank
have
you,
a good one. Your own form has been breathtakingly brilliant. What about your team's form against a team that has got a fair bit of firepower?
Yeah, obviously I think we have got pretty good team and we played some good cricket here, but today is a new day. We have to play some good cricket as well today.
What do you need to do well today with the bat?
Yeah, obviously if you look at the wicket, we have to put some runs on the board, then bowler will defend that.
Any team changes?
Yes, we made one changes. Hassan Murad not playing in place of Ohen is coming back to the squad.
All right, okay, have a good one. It's the Rangpur Riders who won the toss and elected to bowl.
Right then, Rangpur Riders winning the toss, and they have elected to bowl first, which is no surprise at all. They've also made a couple of changes as well to their squad. Shomanoi, how do you look at the side, just in terms of, we spoke about how bowling seems to be their strength, but what about their batting? Do they have the resources to put runs on the board or chase a good total down?
Rajshahi?
No, we're talking about Rangpur Riders overall.
Rangpur, yeah, Rangpur.
I'm just looking at their squad overall. And
overall they do have the firepower. Rangpur, as we said, the top order has fired already. 1 out of 1 already for them. The 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is come in, Hassan Sohan is there, and they've added a bit more muscle in Kyle Mayers, who can be destructive, who's done it in the past, and he favors Chattogram in particular, but here in Sylhet also, top players perform. So Kyle Mayers not only with the bat, but with the ball also, he offers much more.
Yeah, useful to have somebody like Kyle Mayers up in your squad. The fact that he can, do both. He's good in both the departments. Just in terms of, again, his value to the team.
Oh, Kyle Mayers, absolutely. I've seen him play in tournaments where his bowling's been the biggest. The plus side for him, where he can swing the new ball, but I've also seen tournaments where his batting has been outstanding. He can hit sixes, like most of the Caribbean players. They can hit long and hard, and it's fantastic. And when you talk about the strength of Rangpur Riders as well, they've also got 𝗂𝗃𝗃 Shah in there as well. He's another six-hitter in the side, all-rounder, so he just adds to the strength of that team.
Yeah, and Mahmudullah Riyad, let's not forget the veteran who's also in the side. So yeah, fantastic. They have a very strong side, and I think when you have so many stars in the side, it's about gelling together, and it's about which player comes out to the fore and picks up his hand and says, I'm going to perform tonight.
What about Liton Das then? Liton Das and his experience. We've seen what, that partnership between him and David Milan was special in the previous game.
It certainly was. Scored 49, just missed out on his half century, did Liton Das, and he captains the T20 side, looking forward to the T20 World Cup. It augurs well both for Rangpur and also the national side that he's in good touch.
All right then, we're talking about this particular game, and it's time to find out how the pitch is going to be. Remember, we've seen rather dewy conditions. It's a bit wet out there on the table as well, so there is a bit of dew around, which seems to be a feature of this Sylhet cricket ground. Let's find out from Parvez Maharouf what he has to say about the conditions.
Certainly a dew will be a factor later on in the evening. Already feel like the dew is falling. But this pitch, we've used it for 5 times already in games and still looks good for me as far as I'm concerned. On top, it's looking really hard, and even the 5th game just finished in the evening, it had plenty of bounce for the seamers. Something that I like to speak about is this little graphic, the fast bowlers in the power play in this competition. That's 64% of the wickets in the power play for the seamers have been on the 6 to 10 meter length. So I reckon if the fast bowlers can hit that length consistently and surprise the batter with the odd bouncer, once in a while in the power play, they will be certainly in a handful. There you go, that's a confirmation. 64% from 6 to 10. You just have to hit that length with a nice wrist position and the ball will take care of itself. Both the sides have got plenty of fast bowlers. I think this game will be won or lost in the power play. Amount of wickets can be taken. And also don't forget the fast bowlers got to use the bouncer to good effect, because if not, the batsman will plant their front foot and try and smash it down the ground. Overall, dew factor will be a key factor. Rangpur Riders winning the toss. Bowling first is the right way forward.
And we saw from them Fahim Ashraf making use of the conditions so well the other day, Goffy. Again, from whatever we've seen in the pitch so far here at Sylhet, you've now observed a few games. I mean, that length that we keep talking about, those first 6 overs, then how do you go about them?
Well, like I say, he's talked there, didn't he, about the 6 to 8 metres. Obviously, if you're a seamer and you're going in, you don't want to bowl it right on the toe end so the batter can hit you down the ground and over the top, which we saw a few. You want the batter thinking, do I go back or do I go forward to that delivery? And that's why it's so important. And when there's a little bit of seam with a new ball, if you can get him in that halfway position, that's where you get the edges, that's where you get the mistakes. Going back to a ball they should be forward to, and you see the stumps rolling. And it's great. Look, it's a challenge for any bowler going out there, but you'd rather bowl with the new ball when conditions are like this, a little bit dewy, and there's a little bit of movement off the pitch.
Yeah, huge advantage then for Rangpur Riders. But earlier today, the Sylhet crowd was rather disappointed by the result in the end, as Dhaka Capitals managed to beat them and chase it down. 173 for 5. By no means was a small total for them to chase. 𝗂𝗎𝗍 at the top, making 50 in 24 balls, and then also contributing with the ball, taking up, taking 3 wickets. But it was the 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗃 show altogether. A masterclass of sorts, 81 in just 43 balls. Shomanoy, what a performance.
Thrilling. Actually, as we said it's been quite chilly, but I started sweating. it got the crowd alive, even though they were backing the home side, and those no-look shots were fantastic to watch. I think, you know what, it was a brave innings, but it was sort of a carefree knock, that he just meant business and he was in his groove, in his zone, and going about his business in his own manner. Shamim Hussain Patwari kept the match alive. 6 required of the last delivery, not to be, but at least gave a good fight, just to back up Goffy, referring to the pre-show.
Hey, you're starting to worry about that. Do you know, it was a fantastic innings. It's a one-man show, really. And the problem is, it's about partnerships as well. When you start losing wickets and you get into position of losing the game, partnerships are important. But it became a one-man show, and it gave the Capitals hope that they could get over the line. They just fell short, but what an effort in the end.
Absolutely, sublime effort, you've got to say. Especially they were, 60 for 5 at one point, and that's the point he came in and scored some runs, and really speaks volumes of his character. 𝗂𝗎𝗍 then. 𝗂𝗎𝗍 is somebody who's scored with the bat. He's also managed to contribute with the ball. What a useful all-rounder to have, Shomanoy.
I'll start with what we take for granted often is that we expect them to show up and perform. He's just flown in yesterday. He shows up on the field today with the bat in hand. He goes in and he starts firing. It was a splendid knock to watch. He was striking over 200, and these are clean hits, proper cricketing shots from Azmadullah 𝗂𝗎𝗍. And this is what top players are made of. Wherever you go, you make your mark. You put the stamp out there and make your name out there. That's what he did, and even with the ball in hand, 3 wickets, well done.
Absolutely. Just coming in, just yesterday on such a brief notice, and then coming and delivering with the bat and with the ball, clearly no signs of any jet lag for 𝗂𝗎𝗍.
Well, no, I said they were kind of in trouble, and we were looking realistically at a total of around 145 would have been the max you thought they could have got. But with that innings, 50 off 24 balls, managed to get up to 173 for 5. What a knock. And like I said, straight off a plane, onto the pitch, did his job. And then with ball in hand, he was just as good. He was a bit expensive at the end, but that was down to the recovery of Dhaka Capitals. So, but for him, man of the match in the first game, he was excellent. And there you go. He bowled with heavy pace. He did him for pace there. And there we go. That was the pick of him for me. That was a beautiful length and a beautiful delivery. And their first ball, Seyfuddin trying to hit him over cover, and it went straight to mid-off. But I'll tell you what a performance for your first game as well.
Absolutely, you know, in somebody like him who can bring, you know, such value to the team, bat and with the bat and the ball. It's amazing, 𝗏 𝗏𝗧, because you look at some players and it seems like they're batting on a different pitch, because there was no real struggle out there with him. We see certain players, they're sort of struggling in the conditions. Not for him.
Not for him, exactly. And you know, as far as the Sylhet Titans are concerned, I think this was the missing piece of the puzzle. They needed someone like an 𝗏𝗧 who's an all-rounder and a performer and entertainer to come in, and this balances the Sylhet Titans side properly.
All right, quick look at the teams then. Let's come back to the current game now. It's Rajshahi Warriors. They are playing Rangpur Riders, and remember, Rajshahi Warriors will be batting first. And they've got that firepower at the top that hasn't really delivered on that level. 𝗏 𝗏𝗧, you talk about Sahibzada Farhan, Tanzid. Farhan hasn't been able to score those big runs that are expected of him.
Absolutely, you're right with that. Sahibzada Farhan has immense potential for the national side for Pakistan. When they came, he fired back then. This is how he was dismissed by his own countryman, Imad Wasim. Good glove work from Mithun here, but he's yet to fire. He's yet to fire, and you never know. Tonight could be the night, and you know, we've seen Shanto, who's leading the side and from the front. You know, so if they get runs at the top of the order, courtesy of Farhan, I think they'll have the solid foundation for the middle order to then come in and capitalize. So, you know, as Maha said in the toss, that power play will make or break the game. He's got a responsibility with the bat in hand to make that their own.
All right, then, you heard it there from Sahibzada Farhan. We expect much more from him. Rangpur, then, let's have a look at their side. Like we said, they seem to be a very strong team in this tournament. They will be bowling first, 𝗂𝗄𝗃, and you can see the options that they have.
Well, they've got lots of options. Look at that. Nahid, the pace of him, and 𝗏𝗧, we know what he's about. He's one of the first people on the team sheet. Bowls those cutters into the pitch. They've got Ashraf and Khushdul there. They've got plenty of options with spin and seam, but that batting for me impresses me. Malan and Litton and Kyle Myers coming into him has made them even stronger. So they're a good side on paper, and possibly the favourites this early on. They've got the team that can deliver.
And the calmness of David Malan, you know, what we saw the other night. I mean, if you are going for that chase where you require sensible cricket, then you can expect something like that from him.
Well, yeah, the partnership was 91, wasn't it? And it was fantastic. And Malan is graceful. He's gone from a player that used to dig around and knock it around, but to a player that's got a big strike rate now, and he can score very heavily, very quickly. And he likes to attack spin, especially off spin, over extra cover. So it's remarkable, really, because you'd think he'd go after left arm spin, but he prefers off spin.
Litton Das, then, I mean, he spoke about how Malan is strong against spin. What is his strength then?
Malan being graceful, a lot of flair with Litton. I think they complement each other. It's good on the eyes when they click together, isn't it?
Visually elegant.
Right? So good to watch when they go about business. Yes, it was not the biggest of targets, but when they're business and they manage their own tempo, it's like poetry in motion. It was you know, excellent to watch.
Okay, I think 𝗂𝗄𝗃, you won the predictions game in that earlier game today. You went for dark. No. Oh, sorry. Well, it was actually 𝗏 𝗏𝗧. He just reminded.
Are you 2-0 up?
So,
1-0 for now.
All right. So you'd like to keep your winning record? Predictions then?
I'll let him go first again.
I'm going Rangpur.
Rangpur.
Rangpur's the strongest side, but don't take Rajshahi out of the equation. Led by
That wasn't my question. My question was pick a team.
His pick Rangpur. I'll go for Rajshahi.
All right, then. There you heard it from the boys. They're both rooting for Rangpur Riders because they are looking so good on paper, and the team that they've got as well. All to play for, all of that on the other side.